Do you believe that such incredible results can be achieved within just 8 to 9 months? Even in advanced stages of baldness, like diffuse grade 5A and grade 6. Sounds unbelievable, right? But at QHT Clinic, we've made it possible with our advanced QHT technique, a revolutionary hair restoration approach trusted by thousands of patients. Whether you visit our Haridwar, Delhi, or Hyderabad branch, you can expect the same consistent results, precision, and patient satisfaction. In this video, we'll take you through the hair transplant journeys of 3 patients who came to us struggling with severe hair loss and the emotional impact that came with it. Each of them wanted to regain the youthful appearance and confidence they once had in their 20s, and our team made it happen. Through accurate planning, personalized graft placement, and our refined QHT method, we not only transformed their hairlines, but also redefined their overall look with natural facial framing and balanced density. Stay tuned till the end and let us know in the comments which patient's transformation inspired you the most. First, understand each patient's initial scalp condition. For patient 1, our experts observed that his hairline had significantly receded and the remaining follicles in the frontal zone had become thin and weak. Along with the frontal hairline, both temples were recessed, which disrupted his natural facial framing. This loss of framing made his face appear longer and more mature, creating an impression of premature aging. The frontal and mid-scalp areas showed visible thinning, while the crown region remained relatively healthy and retained decent hair volume. Therefore, the crown did not require major intervention. Fortunately, he had a favorable donor area, dense, with plenty of strong and healthy hair follicles, an essential factor in achieving natural and long-lasting results through hair transplantation. The baldness had started to affect his self-image and confidence, as he often avoided social gatherings due to his aged appearance. For patient 2, our experts noticed that his hairline had not receded in a typical pattern, but instead showed diffuse thinning across the front. The thinning was more pronounced when the hair was trimmed, revealing areas of reduced density. The temples began to recede from the sides, giving the impression of a widening forehead and altering his youthful proportions. The frontal and mid-scalp regions only required density enhancement, as most follicles were still active and healthy. However, the crown region displayed reduced volume around the swirl patterns, giving an uneven look. His donor area was in excellent condition with thick, resilient follicles, ideal for transplantation. The progressive thinning had started to make him self-conscious in professional settings. For patient 3, our experts found that his hairline had receded in a pronounced M-shaped pattern, which is typical of advanced baldness. The frontal area appeared sparse, especially around the temporal points and frontal tuft, where thinning was most visible. His mid-scalp was also affected, but to a lesser degree compared to the frontal region. The crown area, though maintaining its natural swirl, had lost volume and density. Thankfully, his donor area was dense and healthy, providing a strong foundation for transplantation. The noticeable baldness had a psychological impact, as he felt older and less confident in public appearances. Through these analyses, it became clear that while each patient presented a different pattern and stage of baldness, their emotional struggles were similar. Each wanted to reclaim their confidence and restore a balanced, youthful appearance. So, if you're also noticing any type of hair loss, don't worry. Reach out to our experts today and they'll guide you to the right solution. After thoroughly assessing each patient's baldness pattern, the next step was hairline design. To begin with, our experts shaved the patient's scalp completely to get a clear view of the bald and thinning areas. Once shaved, the scalp was cleansed and disinfected with a medical-grade antiseptic solution to minimize any risk of infection during surgery. Following this, our specialists designed each patient's hairline individually, ensuring that it complemented their facial anatomy, proportions, and age for a natural and balanced appearance. For patient 1, a customized hairline was designed keeping in mind his facial structure and natural flow of hair direction. The temples were artistically crafted to recreate a youthful and proportionate facial frame. The frontal and mid-scalp regions were also outlined for graft placement to restore lost density and provide a seamless transition from front to mid-scalp. His baldness had started to impact his facial appearance, making him look older and more fatigued, and restoring this framing was key to rejuvenating his appearance. For patient 2, the focus was first placed on the frontal hairline and temples, as these are the most visible zones that require attention. Once these delicate areas were designed, our experts outlined the frontal and mid-scalp for moderate density enhancement. The crown region was carefully encircled, including one complete swirl and half of another to add volume and blend the natural hair flow. The detailed zoning provided a clear graft distribution plan. For patient 3, the hairline was designed by measuring the distance from the glabella point, as no traces of the initial hairline were present for him. Along with it, the entire frontal area was outlined for high density, and as we mentioned, mid-scalp was slightly less affected. It was outlined for light density enhancement, and the crown region was outlined for high density. Through this personalized design process, our experts ensured that each patient received a hairline that restored not only their natural appearance, but also their self-confidence. Once the hairline was finalized, the procedure began. At QHT Clinic, the hair transplant surgery usually takes a minimum of 2 to 3 days to complete. On the first day, after finalizing the hairline design, the patient is taken to the operation theater where the scalp is once again cleaned with an antiseptic solution. Then, anesthesia is administered to both the recipient and affected areas to ensure the procedure remains completely comfortable and painless. After anesthesia is given, our experts create slits in the recipient area, carefully considering the natural angle, direction, and density of hair growth. This step is the most critical part of surgical precision, as it determines how much density will be added in each zone. Typically, on the first day, the hairline design and slit creation are completed, while on the second day, the extraction and implantation process begins. For patient 1, our experts implanted single and thin hair follicles in the hairline and temple zones to create a soft, natural transition that perfectly blended with his facial features. In the frontal and mid-scalp areas, double and triple grafts were strategically placed to achieve higher density and a naturally voluminous appearance. In total, 4,500 follicles were implanted, all extracted from the patient's safe donor zone, ensuring strong, permanent growth. For patient 2, a similar strategic approach was followed. In the hairline and temple zones, our experts implanted single and thin hair follicles to recreate a soft, natural-looking transition. To enhance density in the frontal and mid-scalp areas, double and triple hair follicles were implanted to achieve a fuller and well-blended look. In the crown region, grafts were implanted at varying angles around the natural swirl to restore volume and flow consistency. In this case, a total of 4,100 grafts were implanted, all extracted from the patient's safe donor zone. For patient 3, our experts implanted single and thin hair follicles in the hairline zone to create a soft, natural hairline that complements his facial features. To restore density and volume in the frontal and mid-scalp regions, double and triple grafts were strategically implanted for a fuller, well-balanced appearance. In the crown area, where the natural swirl was still intact, double and triple follicles were implanted at varying angles to enhance volume and replicate natural growth direction. In this case, a total of 4,500 grafts were implanted, all extracted from the patient's safe donor zone. If you want to know more, comment hair transplant. After their hair transplant procedures, all 3 patients visited the clinic for their 1-month follow-up. This stage allows our experts to assess scalp healing, shedding pattern, and overall follicle health. 1 month follow-up of patient 1. For patient 1, our experts observed around 50% shedding in the transplanted area, a completely normal phase at this stage. The native follicles beneath the scalp were intact and growing well. His donor area had healed completely, leaving behind healthy tissue regeneration. 1 month follow-up of patient 2. For patient 2, our experts observed 60% shedding in the transplanted area, which is completely normal at this stage. Native follicles were growing at their natural pace. The donor area has also healed completely. 1 month follow-up of patient 3. For patient 3, the shedding was comparatively lesser, only about 30% in the transplanted area. This variation often depends on individual hair cycles and scalp response. His donor area too had healed well, confirming a positive recovery. At this stage, for all 3 patients, the early hairline contour was already becoming visible. They also underwent their first PRP, platelet-rich plasma therapy session. PRP involves drawing a small amount of the patient's own blood, which is then processed to extract the platelet-rich plasma, a concentration full of growth factors and essential nutrients. This plasma is injected into the scalp to nourish the grafted follicles, enhance blood circulation, and accelerate the growth rate of new hair. PRP not only strengthens existing follicles, but also shortens the resting phase of the transplanted grafts. The alternative, or we can say advanced therapy versions of PRP, are GFC, growth factor concentrate, and QR678 are also available, both offering enhanced results by promoting faster and denser regrowth for optimal post-transplant outcomes. 5 months follow-up of patient 1. 5 months post-transplant, patient 1 visited the clinic for his scheduled follow-up. By this time, the shedding phase had fully concluded and the transplanted follicles had successfully transitioned into the active growth phase. The newly emerging hair strands were growing healthily and beginning to blend naturally with the existing hair. In the frontal area, a few minor gaps were still visible, which is completely normal at this stage, as the follicles continue to mature and thicken over the next few months. The mid-scalp and crown regions, however, showed significant progress, with strong and visible growth covering most of the previously thinned areas. The donor area had also healed completely, showing even regrowth without any noticeable scarring or density loss. In the coming months, the progress of all 3 patients, especially in the hairline definition and overall density, is expected to improve further as the follicles mature, leading to a more refined and natural final look. So stay tuned till the end to see their final results. 4 months follow-up of patient 2. For patient 2, our experts observed voluminous hair growth across the scalp. The hairline and temples had started to take a well-defined, natural shape, beautifully framing his facial features. The frontal and mid-scalp areas showed improvement in density and texture, reflecting steady and healthy hair growth. In the crown region, the swirl pattern appeared natural and symmetrical, with adequate volume evenly distributed around it. By this stage, his donor area had healed seamlessly, maintaining uniform thickness and showing no signs of overextraction. Overall, his progress indicated an excellent response to the transplant procedure and post-care routine. 4 months follow-up of patient 3. For patient 3, our specialists noted that the shedding phase had completely concluded and the follicles had entered the active growth phase. However, his growth was relatively slower compared to patient 2, which is entirely normal, as each individual's hair growth cycle varies. While the follicles were maturing well and producing new hair strands, the density was still developing and the overall coverage was in its early phase. This is a natural progression. Both patients were reassured that the results would continue to improve over the next few months, with density and texture enhancement becoming more evident between the 6th and 9th months. 8 months results of patient 1. Patient 1 visited the clinic to share his impressive final results. His hairline and temples appeared well defined and naturally contoured, beautifully enhancing and framing his facial features. The frontal area, which earlier showed minor gaps, had now filled in completely. The mid-scalp and crown regions displayed uniform growth and excellent coverage, restoring overall balance and volume to the scalp. The texture and thickness of the transplanted hair matched seamlessly with the native hair, giving an entirely natural appearance. Our experts noted that while these results are already exceptional at 8 months, the density and hair quality will continue to improve further over the next few months as the follicles fully mature, marking a successful and satisfying outcome for patient 1. 9 months results of patient 2. 9 months post-transplant, patient 2 visited the clinic with an exceptional transformation. His hair, which had already shown impressive growth at the 4-month mark, had now become thicker, stronger, and fully matured. The hairline and temples appeared well-defined and naturally framed his facial features. The frontal area, mid-scalp, and crown region displayed dense, voluminous growth, achieving uniform coverage across the entire scalp. His transformation reflected not only the precision of the QHT technique, but also his consistent post-care maintenance. These results are expected to continue improving slightly in thickness and texture over the next few months, marking a highly successful and satisfying outcome for patient 2. 8 months results of patient 3. 8 months post-transplant, patient 3 also visited the clinic and shared his results. His hairline had taken a well-defined, natural shape, perfectly framing his facial features. The frontal area and mid-scalp showed improvement in density and volume, with the transplanted and native hair blending seamlessly to create a uniform, natural look. The texture and direction of hair growth appeared consistent, giving the scalp a fuller and healthier appearance. The previously visible M-shaped recession was now completely covered, enhancing his confidence and overall personality. At this stage, patient 3 could style his hair freely, as the density and coverage provided complete flexibility. These results are expected to further refine and thicken over the next few months as the follicles continue to mature, reflecting the success of the advanced QHT technique used in his procedure. Comparing the timelines, patient 1 with grade 5A, a baldness, showed steady progress with visible growth from the 5th month and full density by the 8th month. Patient 2 with grade 5A demonstrated early, rapid improvement by the 4th month and achieved mature, voluminous coverage by the 9th month. Patient 3 with grade 6 baldness, a baldness, experienced slower initial growth but achieved remarkable density and a defined hairline by the 8th month, reflecting consistent, natural progress. Each journey you've seen today proves that the right technique can truly redefine confidence. Tell us in the comments whose results impressed you the most, and if you're planning your own transformation, consult our experts at QHT Clinic. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring results.
Hello friends, if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please like this video, share and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you will get update on every video.